Alright, so the next thing I want to discuss is how the Max model hop-up works with the kythera. I haven't had really any problems with the two pairing together. So my only gripe, which is not really a gripe, but the diameter for the hole of the hop-up it lines up with the kythera nozzle, but if you can see, there is kind of it gets dull at the start and then kind of gets like the shiny finish, and that's from it rubbing against the hop-up itself. That's not really a concern of mine. It's not gonna stop anything. Another thing I'd like to point out with the engine, it is super easy to install. So all you really need to do, anybody can do it, so once you buy the engine, you just rip out all the internals of your AEG. The only modification I had to do to this gearbox was I had to cut down that spring guide right there, the little red piece, so it didn't interfere with the IGL, which is that little line right there. That was the only thing I had to do to the gearbox itself to make it fit. I'm not going to disassemble the gun right now, mostly because I don't want to, but it has you can adjust the trigger as well. So you can adjust the travel before it hits the wall. You can adjust how much force you have to put on it when it breaks, and the over travel. So this is without it being cocked, so this is like no air in it. And this is as much as it is. So about a standard AEG pull. And then when you cock the system, so this is with it having air, would be having air in it. The trigger, it hits the walls right here. And then you have to apply more pressure, and then it will break. And then when it breaks, it shoots. And this is as far as the wall goes. So as soon as it breaks, I hit the wall. And then I let go, it resets. But that's fine and dandy. Yeah, if you were going to get the Max model trigger, I would not pair it with the kythera. I would just throw it into an AEG if you're tech inclined. Honestly, for any newbies or people getting into HPA, the engine works fine. It's a literal drop-in. You just gut your AEG. For someone that doesn't know how to open up a gearbox, it might take an hour in total to install the engine and everything else. But yeah, literally anyone could install this engine. I believe Polar Star has instructions on their website, or look up one of their YouTube videos. For price performance, the engine is fairly reasonably priced. I believe it's one of the cheapest engines on the market. I believe it comes in like $280. So that's competing right around the same price range as the Wolverine Inferno. And it's the Wolverine Inferno. My buddies all run them. They'll run the Wolverine products. And I've tried them. I like them. The only thing that you don't get with the kythera that you get in the Wolverine is the programmability and the full auto function. But if you play without full auto, then you should be fine. Because, honestly, I've never had the urge to be like, hey, I need to use full auto, but I don't have full auto. So that is it's good or bad. If you don't care about losing it, then it's perfectly fine. Yeah, so compared it to the Wolverine Inferno, which is pretty reasonably priced, around the same price range. The Kythera, easy drop in, same with the Wolverines or the Polar Star Jack. But with those, you'll need a LiPo battery, just a small LiPo battery, or you can fit a giant ass LiPo battery in like the buffer tube. But the cool thing is about with it being mechanical, you can do crazy shit. Like I put a 15-degree drop stock on my Polar Star build, or my Kythera, because I don't need to worry about batteries. As you see, the IGL is where the IGL goes on the pistol grip is literally, I tore the cover off because I didn't need it. But you can do a bunch of crazy shit. You can have, I ran it with no stock completely and a drop stock. Some errors beware, but mostly, yeah, price performance is a great deal. Only another gripe I have is with the IGL, or the fitting that fits onto the IGL. Polar Star, for some reason, does not include these in their engines, which I don't really understand why. Other retailers like Wolverine, or manufacturers like Wolverine, include those. So sometimes you can get these through regulators on your tank. Sometimes they come with extras, sometimes they don't. But yeah, with Polar Star products, it does not come with these, so you'll have to outsource it and go on to any retailer, online retailer, and pick one up. But yeah, honestly, for price performance, it's pretty good. Like I said, I would skip out on the max model trigger. I know it might be tempting to adjust it more, but with my experience, it saves you the headache if you just keep the stock trigger, or you just put a non-adjustable fancier trigger in it. But yeah, that's about it with this review. More of overview, but I would recommend this product. I've had some problems with it, but it's problems that you could solve, and it's not like a giant deal breaker. Like the engine hasn't just stopped working for any reason. Which, yeah.